Today we will talk about cost concepts. Cost is the monetary measure of the amount of resources given up or used for some purpose. It can be classified into two: the unexpired cost and the expired cost. Unexpired cost is any cost that has not yet been charged to expense because it still represents some residual value, frequently associated with revenue that has not yet been recognized under the matching principle. It is maintained on the books as an asset until the associated revenue is recognized, at which point the asset is charged to expense. While expired cost is a cost that has been recognized as an expense. It happens when an entity fully consumes or receives benefits from a cost. It may also be construed as the total loss in value of an asset. Some of the cost terms used in managerial accounting. Cost driver. It is any variable that usually affects costs over a period of time, such as level of activity or volume. A factor that causes a change in the cost pool for a particular activity. It is used as a basis for cost allocation. Cost driver is any factor or activity that has a direct cause-effect relationship. Cost pool. Cost pool is an account in which a variety of similar costs are accumulated prior to allocation to costs objects. It is a group of costs associated with an activity. Example of this is the overhead control account. Cost object. Cost object is the intermediate and final disposition of cost pools. It is anything which cost is computed, such as product, job, or process. Activity. An activity is an event, action, transaction, task, or unit of work that consumes resources and with a specified purpose. It can be classified into value-adding activities, an activity necessary to produce the products, and non-value-adding activities, an activity that do not make the product or service more valuable to customer. Costs can be classified as to type: product cost and period cost. Product cost, also known as inventoriable cost, is the cost incurred to manufacture the product. Product costs of the units sold during the period are recognized as expense in income statement. And product costs of unsold units become the costs of inventory and treated as asset in the balance sheet. While period cost, which is also known as non-manufacturing costs, are expensed in the period of incurrence and do not become part of the cost of inventory. Period costs include research and development, marketing costs, distribution costs, selling costs, after-sales costs, and general and administrative cost. Cost can also be classified as the function: manufacturing costs and non-manufacturing costs. Manufacturing costs are all the cost incurred in the factory to convert raw materials into finished goods. It includes direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Direct materials are raw materials that can be physically and directly associated with the finished product during the manufacturing process. Indirect materials are material that do not physically become part of the finished product. In short, it cannot be traced. It is accounted as part of manufacturing overhead. Direct labor is the work of factory employees that can be physically and directly associated with converting raw materials into finished goods. Indirect labor has no physical association with the finished goods. It is accounted as part of manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead are costs that are indirectly associated with the manufacture of the finished product. It includes indirect material, indirect labor, taxes, depreciation on factory buildings and machines, insurance, and maintenance on factory facilities. Non-manufacturing costs are all costs that are not incurred in transforming materials into finished goods. costs that are used for decision making. Relevant costs, future costs that will differ under alternative courses of action. Differential costs, the difference in costs between any two alternative courses of action. Differential costs can be incremental cost and decremental cost. The incremental cost is the increase in cost from one alternative to another, while decremental cost is the decrease in cost from one alternative to another. Opportunity costs, these are income or benefit given up when one alternative is selected over another. Sunk or historical cost, already incurred and cannot be changed by any decision made now or to be made in the future.